Good morning again, everyone. We appreciate your time attending our in-service training. I am Sam, your moderator, and I want to introduce you to Ty, the tub guy. He's been with us for quite a couple of years, and he's gonna host our in-service training. So I'll give the floor to you, Ty.
Thanks, Sam. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this session. I am Ty, the Tub Guy. Today, I'll take you through the in-service of the Apollo Advantage Spa. It'll take about 30 minutes. If you guys want to use your chat box as you have questions, you can type those questions in. And at the end of this session, I'll answer all the questions for us. So we'll get started. When you first get your Apollo Spa, we do set these carriers up here at the corporate office, but every floor is going to be a different pitch. So there may be some adjustment of the carrier necessary before you start using the tub. So I'm going to just go through a few things that we want to look for to make sure the carriers are lined up properly. We want it to go in and out as easy as possible. I took the heel guard off so we can kind of see a little bit better what's going on. Normally this black heel guard will be installed right here to protect the feet when they slide back into the tub. So this is just being off right now so we can kind of see the pins and see how everything is adjusted. We can adjust the entire carrier with a 9/16 wrench. We do have a real in-depth video on this carrier adjustment on our website, but I'm just going to briefly go through some things that we want to look for before we start operating the tub. And if you have an older tub, they should be on a 30-day PM schedule. That is on our manual if you want to print it off and just have that. So this should be looked at every 30 days just to make sure the transfer is real easy going back and forth. First thing we want to look at is the pin. So this pin can be adjusted a lot of different ways. It can go up and down, side to side, and it can go in and out. So we want to adjust the pin high enough to where it hits the top of the receiver, just touches the top of the receiver before it goes in. So you'll see right here, it hits the top of the receiver, pin pushes down, and as you go all the way back in, it gets to the back of the receiver, it pops back up behind the receiver, and that's what locks the carrier in place. So when you slide the carrier in, if you pull back on it, the carrier should not release from the tub. If it does, the pin most likely needs to go a little bit further back into the receiver. So again, these can be adjusted with a 9/16 wrench. It's real easy to adjust. So we should never have to fight with the carrier going in and out smoothly. And you've got your two rails. The rails are also adjusted with a 9/16 wrench. You got the nuts on the sides. So these rails can go up and down and they can go side to side. So we want to adjust the rails so they mimic the tub rails. So as the rails in the tub come out, it's a smooth transition onto the carrier. So when the chair comes out, it should always be real easy out and real easy in. We have a 400-pound resident weight on this tub, so the resident can weigh up to 400 pounds, and we should be able to slide in and out fairly effortlessly. Again, if it doesn't go in and out real effortlessly, it needs a quick adjustment. So we'll get back to the carrier. We'll talk a little bit more about the carrier in depth here in a couple of minutes. So if you want to start giving a bath, you'll come out into the tub room. We'll turn the rapid fill reservoir on. The rapid fill reservoir, if you have this feature, it's going to fill up and shut off automatically. So once you turn it on, you've got 8, 9, 10 minutes to go get our residents prepped, bring them down into the tub room if that's the way that you do the transfer. As the reservoir fills, it shuts off for us automatically, so we don't have to monitor that. The reservoir is going to fill based on the random mixing valve. This is our temperature gauge right here. It's numbered 1 through 9. Number 9 is preset here at the corporate office to fill right about 105 degrees. So that should be the maximum temperature allowed into the reservoir. So whether you're filling the reservoir or filling the tub or topping it off with the tub fill spouts, or if you're using the shower, all these temperature features go through the main temperature gauge. So everything goes through the temperature gauge. When the tub is full, if it is a little bit warm for the resident, you can go ahead and you can put colder water in behind the resident if you want to. And that goes for the shower. If you want to give a colder or warmer shower, you have control over all those features with the mixing valve. On number 9 and 105 degrees, it's going to be a good temperature for almost everybody. But again, all the residents have their own preferences, so it can be adjusted accordingly. So while the reservoir is filling, we can be using a level glide transfer, and we have a lot of options with the transfer. It is designed to go down the hall into a room or wherever the resident may be and pick the resident up. So it's designed similar to a wheelchair. You got both the arms that come up. If you were to go to bedside, that's what this carrier is designed to do. It can go up to bedside. You've got your wheel lock that you want to use. So you lock both your wheels by stepping on the red locks. The arms can come up. We can move the foot pegs up out of the way. These are standard wheelchair footrests. They come on and off just like a wheelchair. They adjust up and down, just like the wheelchair footrests that we have. So anytime that we're going down the hall and picking a resident up, going in and out of the tub, we always want to be wearing a safety belt. We have a lower belt. We have an upper belt, depending on the skill level, depending on what the resident may need. But we want to have a belt on. These belts can be crisscrossed if we need them to, just depending on how much support someone needs in this chair. So again, anytime we're going down the hall, coming in or out of the tub, you want to have a safety belt on. The other way we can do the transfer is once the chair is locked into the front of the spot, make sure it's locked in. We lock our wheels down with our feet. We can back in with a walker. We can stand and pivot out of a wheelchair. If you put the armrest up, we can lower a resident down into the chair with a lift. So we do have a lot of options if you choose not to go and transfer down the hallway and get someone that way. So you have a lot of options with the transfer system. This one also has a mobile digital scale on it. So your scale is here on the side. When you turn the scale on, it'll go through a diagnostic. And it should read 0. This gel pad that's on here right now weighs about 7 pounds. So if you're taking the gel pad on and off, you want to make sure that you zero it out when you put the gel pad on. Otherwise, you're going to be 7 pounds heavy on the resident weight. So if it doesn't read 0, if we take this gel pad off and we turn the scale on again, it's going to go through its diagnostic and see 3 lines down here. You're not going to see a 0. So if we see these 3 lines, it's not zeroed out, so it's not ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll come down, we'll hit the 0 button on the bottom, and the scale will recalibrate itself back to 0. So no need to be calibrating it throughout the day unless you're taking this gel pad on and off. So the seat belts, the commode that slides underneath for transferring the resident, they also weigh something. And the gel pad itself weighs about 7 pounds. So if we're using these features, we just want to make sure that the scale reads 0, and then we're ready to go. If we do a hard calibration on the scale, some communities will do a hard calibration once a year. And if we do that, we'll need a certified 25-pound weight that sits on it. We have a detailed calibration video also on our website in the resources section that will step us through that process. But for the most part, the 0 button on the scale will zero out the gel pads, the seat belt, and the commode feature. So we'll turn it on one more time. Now it's going to reach 7 pounds because the gel pad is back on. So we'll come down, we'll hit the 0 button, and it calibrates itself back to 0 again. So be aware the gel pad does weigh something. If we're taking it on and off, we want to make sure we zero the scale out. With these new style footrests that we have, we upgraded that about 2 years ago. So with these footrests, when we're sitting on the chair, we can weigh with our feet on the footrests. If your tub is over 2 years old, it might even be 2.5 years now. The old style footrests, you have to have your feet free dangling. So if you don't have these black wheelchair style footrests that are removable from the sides, then the feet will have to be free dangling to get the proper weight. You don't want the legs hitting anything on the bottom, otherwise the weight will be off. But again, if your tub is roughly 2 years old, these new footrests are a little bit more user friendly as far as having your feet on the footrest during the weight. It doesn't matter what you're doing up top. If you're leaning one way or the other, the arms are on the arm rests, the weight will still be accurate. But again, the feet will have to be free dangling if you have the older style footrests. Another feature with the carriers, when we go to clean it, the whole chair can be in the spa at the time. Otherwise, we can break it down real easy. The gel pad can be cleaned with the products that we supplied. If you reach back in the back of the seat, you can pop the seat off. And at the very least, we want to get the seat in the tub during the disinfecting process. So we should never have a buildup on this seat because it's real easy to pop off and clean with the rest of the tub. And just slide it in and drops back down. So we want to be aware that pops off. And again, this is going to head down the hall like a wheelchair. It's a real easy, non-threatening transfer for the residents. In a lot of cases, it's less frightening than lifting someone up and over the tub. Any questions on the carrier or the scale, I can address those at the end of this session. We'll just move this out of our way a little bit. The door shuts real easy. The only way the door won't shut is if we have the tabs open. Then it's going to go ahead and hit in the front. So we'll open the tabs, push the door in, and lock it down. It's a real good sealing door. And it will say right at the top of the door here, when the tub is not in use, we want to keep the door open. These gaskets will stay nice and puffy. They'll last for a long time, generally. But if we lock the door down all weekend, overnight, continuously, it'll compress these gaskets a little bit and they won't last quite as long. So when the tub isn't in use, if we want to leave it ajar, that's just fine the way it is, or we can swing it all the way around. The gaskets, they roll in and out real easy. So if we do need to replace the gaskets, one's just a little bit longer than the other. Good idea to grease the gaskets with our hygienic wash. It's pretty slippery. And then they'll go into the grooves a little bit easier. You do get an extra set of gaskets with every tub, so just have those put away somewhere down the road. So again, push the door shut, lock it down, and we're good to go. I'm going to leave the door open for the cleaning process just so we can see what's going on. Obviously, when we do the cleaning process there at the community, the door needs to be shut and locked when we don't go through that process. The gel pad out of the way. Oh, we'll shut it and fill it up real quick. This is the release for the water. So when we dump the water into the tub, we want to make sure we shut the drain. The drain is located on either side of the tub, depending on what side we want to work on. It's labeled on the door, so we know which way is open and which way is closed. So remember, to shut the drain before you release the water, otherwise the tub just won't fill up. By pushing the lever down, releasing the water from the reservoir into the tub. The tub is going to take about 60 seconds to fill. After the tub fills, the reservoir is designed to refill for the next bath. So if another bath isn't coming, just say you're breaking for lunch, you don't want the reservoir to refill, you simply turn the reservoir off and it won't refill it for the next bath. But we're starting in the morning and we're doing multiple baths, in some cases 10, 12 plus baths a day. While we're bathing this resident, the reservoir can be filling for the next bath. So it's a very efficient system once we get going. The temperature gauge here on the reservoir, this is designed only to monitor the water in the reservoir. So the reservoir is only a holding tank. We don't put a heater in the reservoir. It's designed to hold the water from your community. But when you fill it, it doesn't plummet in temperature very quickly. So you've got quite a bit of time to get the next resident to clean the tub before the reservoir starts cooling off. I'd say if you have an hour between this bath and the next bath or less, the reservoir is going to maintain its temperature real well. But before we dump the water into the spa, this is the temperature that's coming out onto the resin. We want to make sure the temperature is in the green zone. If it's not in the green zone, if it sat too long, we'll have to drain the reservoir and refill it again. Once we're up over the jet level, we can start the spa. A real robust spa is going to hit all parts of the body. You can move the jets around the different areas if you want to target other areas. But otherwise, just the way they are, it's got a lot of flow, it's got a lot of action in it. Residents in here and the chair is in here, the water level is automatically going to be a little bit higher. But if you want a higher submersion level for this particular resident in the tub, you can turn the fill spouts in on and you can top it off wherever you want it. All the way up to this overflow. So the hole in the back is the overflow. If we do go this high, it's going to start going down the drain. You may not want to come all the way up to this level, as bubbles will kind of crack over the top. But that's up to you and how far you want to fill it. So if you don't want to use the fill spouts, they can also still run through the reservoir and out the bottom. However, it's a little bit noisier for the residents sitting in the spa. So if you use the fill spouts here, it is much quieter and the resident probably won't even notice that noise from behind them. So we're looking out into the room instead of sitting here looking at the reservoir and seeing the running water come out. So we designed that for a reason. So we're not seeing all the busyness back here and the water flow. We're looking here in a different direction. And you can put something on the wall, do whatever you want to make it a better experience for the resident. You could also add a little bit of aromatherapy into the tub, whether it's a pod or a couple drops of whatever scent that you want. That's perfectly acceptable, and a lot of residents may like that. So feel free to do that if you would like to. When the bath is over, we'll release the water with the drain. You've got about 60 seconds while it drains. During that time, you take in the shower. It's going to come out of the temperature that's selected right here, most likely around 104, 105 degrees. And we can be showering the resident's hair off, and we can shower the body off as the spa drains. And again, if another bath is coming, this can be filling the whole time while we're doing this process. Once it drains, we'll go through the cleaning and the disinfecting procedures. This tub has all the options. It has the rapid fill reservoir, the mobile transfer system with a digital scale. It's got an ultraviolet purification system. This UV purification system, as soon as you turn the whirlpool on, all the water is sucked through the intake on the bottom. It passes through the UV lights and it comes back out the jets. So this is a continuous process that happens throughout the entire bath. The UV chambers, let's move this over here so you can see these are in back of the spa. So all the water is going to pass through the chambers where the light is housed, and then it comes out the jets. So again, it's a great feature to have. So we're continuously cleaning this water during the course of the bath. These UV lights roughly have a 5-year, 10,000-hour lifespan, so they're going to last for quite some time. When you turn the UV lights on by pushing the whirlpool button, the indicator light up here on the dashboard will show that the UV lights are engaging and working. If one of the lights go out and we're close to that 5-year lifespan or 10,000 hours, it may be a good idea to replace both of the bulbs at that time. It doesn't require any tools to replace the bulbs. They unplug, they slide into the chambers, and they plug back in. So it's a real easy system to maintain. How the tub is drained, it doesn't take very long to drain. You know, every drain is different in every community, but for the most part, this tub should drain in 60 to 90 seconds. You know, after we rinse the hair, if there's still time, if it's a slow draining tub, we could be toweling off the resident's hair and the resident's body if we have a little bit of time to do that. The next thing we'll do here is we'll go through the cleaning and the disinfecting procedures. Again, I'm only opening the door so we can kind of see it coming out the jets as I go through this process. You guys won't have the door open when you're actually doing your cleaning. So there's two cleaners in this tub. There's a quaternary disinfectant, which requires a 10-minute kill time, and there's a standard soap. You know, OSHA is going to say that this tub potentially could be a heavily soiled surface because of all the different fluids that could be on it. So a pre-cleaning step is necessary before we do the quaternary disinfectant. So we'll go to our selector right here. This selector, the pointy part, is going to select the disinfectant. If we point it straight up, it's going to select rinse, or we can point it over to tub cleaner, which is the pre-cleaner that we do first. So the way that you want to do it, you turn it to your pre-cleaner, turn the water on, and you hit the whirlpool button. As a disinfectant, is a quaternary disinfectant. The bottle will suggest those in values. So I'll put my goggles on for this process. As soon as the cleaner comes out the jets, like you see here, you shut the drain. Before you do anything, I'll come and I'll turn this up to rinse. It's important to know you don't want the cleaner to continue pumping through the system and down the drain. Once the jets are full of the cleaner, that's all that we need. So you want to turn it to rinse right away when it starts coming out. As the tub is rinsing itself, using the cleaner down below. I only shut the drain a little bit so I can scoop this cleaner up, bring it up onto the tub. You go through the whole process of cleaning everything, and also the chair bottom will be in here. What you don't want to do when you shut the drain, you don't want the cleaner to come all the way out over this intake valve. If it comes this high, it's going to start circulating back through the system. It's not going to fully rinse itself out. So we only want to shut the drain long enough where we can get down here and scoop up some of this cleaner. Yeah, we're scooping it up, cleaning everything. take the shower and we'll rinse it all off. Once our pre-cleaner is complete, the see the system is running clear. That's what we want. Then we can go ahead and we can turn the valve to the disinfectant. Now you're gonna have the quaternary grade disinfectant come out of the system. As soon as it switches over from the clear water to the disinfectant, doesn't take very long. See it now doing so. You'll then turn the selector up to rinse. While it's rinsing, you can be taking this quaternary disinfectant up, putting it onto the surface of the pre-cleaned tub. This just needs to be applied from the top down. Get the pressure in the jets, pressure go in the rails. This is our long, so they'll really get to all parts of the tub. Again, we don't want to fill it too high, just enough to scoop it and use it. You shut the motor off, everything is connected. It's going to come down, it's going to all drop out the bottom. It's like a big U shape in the plumbing. So when we shut it off, everything comes down and out. So when you're not actually cleaning both of the black selector valves, you want them pointing in the up direction. So we don't want to make the mistake of leaving it pointed at one of the products, and if the water is turned on, it's going to slowly keep sucking from that jug down the drain. So we only want to use enough product to fill the jets up. And again, maybe it's a good idea just to keep your hand on the selector knob. As soon as it starts coming out the jets, we turn it to rinse. It's a question that I get quite a bit, that we're using too much cleaner in the communities. And a lot of that is because we're not turning it up to rinse once the jets are full. Okay, so that should be the process that we do. When we put the quaternary disinfectant on, it's a standard 10-minute kill time. You may come across other products that say it's a 4-minute kill time or a 7-minute kill time. But if you want to kill all the potential things that could be on the sides of the tub and in the tub, you want to wait the full 10 minutes, because that's going to really expose it for the length of time to get everything that we want. So again, both of the valves are in the up position when we're not doing the cleaning. All the products are in the locking doors on the sides. So this one over here on the left side is going to have the soap and the shampoo, the Hygiena-Wash. We make all these products here except for the quaternary disinfectant. So the Hygiena-Wash is designed to kill odors on contact. It's made for the long-term care community. It's got a green label, so you'll see a green hose attached to it. And also on the hose itself, it's labeled. So this one's going to say Hygiena-Wash shampoo. So this can be a shampoo and a body wash. The other product in this side is going to be the Therasol, which is a skin conditioner and a bath oil. It's a blooming oil, so it's not going to leave a residue on the tub like perhaps a baby oil would. So once the water hits it, it turns white and it's not sticky. It's not going to make the tub greasy. Nothing's going to attach to it. So it's a great product, especially as we move into the winter time when we're really dry. So the Therasol, couple pumps can go into the spa. It'll turn the tub a nice milky white. It's got a warming agent in it. So when this tub drains, if you were to take a pump of the Therasol, put it on the resident's shoulders and back, it will keep them a little bit warmer. Anywhere you put this on the resident, where it comes in contact with the water, it's going to turn white. If it turns white on the shoulders, on the arms, on the knees, down into the toes, you want to towel that right into the resident's skin. It's like a lotion. And this Therasol will stay with the resident throughout the day, especially if you're going back and you're relotioning residents throughout the day, try to get this Therasol onto those spots, towel it in their body, and it's going to last a lot longer. So when we use it for the hair, so the process will be the shampoo initially, we can rinse the shampoo out, then we can take a pump of the bath oil, the Therasol, which is a skin conditioner, and we can put that on the hair like conditioner. And then as the tub is draining, we can rinse that off. You know, the hair is the only place we want to rinse it completely off just because there's too much on the scalp to leave sit there. But again, anywhere on the body, we can towel it right in like a lotion and it will stay with the residents much longer throughout the day, you'll find. So that's going to cover everything on this particular in-service. Any questions that we have, I can go ahead and answer those right now. Thank you all for your time. I do these every month. If you want to tune in the third Tuesday of every month, I'll be here to do another in-service for your staff. Thank you. Oh, right here at the corporate office. So you can give us a call right here at 877-234-2284, or you can hop on our website at apollobath.com and you can order them that way. So whatever is easiest for you, we've got them all here and we can ship them out usually the next day. The jets are individual. So the jets can be removed and replaced individually. Do you have to go in the back of the tub or you can just twist them up from the front? So you'll twist off the jet cover and you can feel it starting to come off. Then there's a tool that we can unscrew the jet itself with. So these jets are all individual pieces and it's a fairly cheap part. So if the tub is old, the jets are turning colors, we can replace these jets individually fairly quickly. And that should be on our website too. We have a technician that specializes in more of the slide valve and the replacement stuff. So we can get into more detail, but to answer your question, they are easily taken off individually and we can send them. I don't know the exact cost, but I do recall that the jets aren't very expensive to replace. So it's a quick fix if we're brightening up the spa or changing those jets out to some newer jets. Yeah, there is a tool.
But that's only for the old ones and it's only to replace the inner jet eyes. So they can ask tech service
Okay.
to identify what jet they have. And
Yeah, so the jets have changed over the years. If the spa is older, there is a tool with these newer ones. You can take them on and off by hand, but tech service, they'll take the serial number of your spa and they can look that up on the system and tell you which ones you have. So to find that serial number down here on the pedestal, if you go down below right here, there's a serial number tag. And the numbers on that tag will identify which system you have. So we can give you a better answer once you give us that serial number. No, you don't. In fact, if you do fill it all the way up, the jets, you're going to dilute the disinfectants quite severely. So no, you don't want to do that. I know some different spas out there, they may do it that way, but you want the cleaner to come out these jets into the bottom of the tub and then put it on the sides of the tub, and then it's at its full strength. So if you put 50 gallons of water into the tub and run it that way, you're going to dilute the product to where it's not going to be nearly as effective. Yeah, so really, you want to fill the tub up just a couple inches on the bottom, like I showed before, and then take the brush. We do have a spa pod cleaner. It's a pod that we can drop into the tub, and then you can run the system through with the jets full, and that pod will emulsify whatever in the plumbing, and that's a good way to run it, you could run it for 7, 8, 9 minutes over the jets with the pod. And that spa cleaning pod is on our website. So, that's a good thing you may want to do from time to time is drop a spa cleaning pod into the water. And then you can run the system over the jets and it will really attack whatever is in the internal parts of the tub. But as far as the disinfectant and the cleaner, you want to put that on maximum strength. Well, I've been here, it all depends on the use of these spas. Some places they're gonna do a few baths a day. Some places are gonna do 20 baths a day. I've been selling this Advantage Spa. Well, the Advantage Spa has probably been out since the early 2000s. I've been selling it for 28 and a half years. And it's not uncommon for me to see these tubs go 20 years. But if you want the latest technology and the latest features, you may not want to wait 20 years. So, I see a lot of them being replaced 10, 12, 15 years. But on the other hand, I've seen a lot of them go quite a bit longer too.
Thank you, Ty. And I believe that if they use Apollo products for our tubs, they can extend also the life of the tub itself.
They can. That is a good question. The tub's going to come out of the box with a 3-year warranty. So if you use the Apollo products, which are designed for this tub, so there's 4 gallons that go with the spa. So if you use one of each gallon, so if you use 4 gallons a month, we're going to continue to extend the warranty of your tub up to 8 years. It's an 8-year parts warranty. And it doesn't have to be 4 of each. It can be 4 in any combination. So if you're doing a lot of baths and you're going to use more of the pre-cleaner or more of the disinfectant, if you were to use 4 of those jugs a month, that would qualify also to extend the warranty all the way up to 8 years.